In university, I studied anthropology. Now, anthropologists have 4 areas of study: language, physical anthropology, which is genetics and our opposable thumbs, things like that; sociology, which is how we organize ourselves to do things and the narratives and the stories we tell each other; and then finally, archaeology, which is kind of the study of the junk that our culture leaves behind. Some of it beautiful, some of it less so. Now, when I graduated from university with a degree in anthropology, I was quite surprised to learn that my local anthropology factory wasn't hiring anymore. I know you're probably shocked as well. So I ended up picking up a side hustle in economics and technology. And for the last couple of years, I've been looking at the climate problem, and it's really fascinating. You see, technology-wise, we have hundreds of amazing solutions, thousands actually. The company I work with actually has technology to take carbon dioxide right out of the air, put it into the ground for tens of thousands of years. And when I look at our economy, globally, we have a $100 trillion a year economy. It's massive and growing. And for 2% of that every year, we could solve this climate change problem. So we have the technology, it's improving and getting better all the time, and we have the money. What's wrong? What's going on here? Why aren't we sorting this out? So I thought I would go back to my anthropology and maybe try to understand this. So one of the things we do in anthropology is we observe a lot. We watch the natives, we see what they're up to, we listen. And I didn't have a lot of resources and a lot of time. So I decided I would enroll my daughter as an informant and a native and observer. She's about 8 years old. It's pretty helpful. So if you have kids, you know something happens to your weekends. They disappear. They disappear. And so I observed my daughter, and every weekend she would go off with 10 to 15 of her friends, and they'd have a celebration, a ritual. And they would celebrate the fact that one of them had gone around the sun one time. We call that a birthday. Pretty cool. And I observed these birthday parties as an anthropologist, and I noticed something that I think may be both a big part of the problem for climate change, but also a big piece of the solution. And I've got some right here. It's called pizza. Kind of surprising, huh? And you see, the problem with pizza, it has a gas problem. You've all eaten pizza. Now, it's not the gas problem on the back end, actually, that's the problem. Ask any 8-year-old. The actual problem is how we make the pizza. You see, every time we make something, we put flour and bread, we cheese, we bake it. All of those things use energy, and they put methane or carbon dioxide up into the atmosphere. So let's take a look at that cheese for a second. Now, to make cheese, you gotta have a cow. Kind of crucial. So I brought something here. Cows, they fart and they belch a lot. Here's a simulated cow fart. It's about 100 grams of carbon dioxide. It's actually surprisingly heavy. Drops right down to the ground, about 3 ounces. A lot of those in cheese. So much so that hidden in every kilo of cheese that you eat, there are 13 kilos of carbon dioxide going into the atmosphere. 13-to-1 ratio. 1 pound of cheese, 13 pounds of gas coming out. Now, where does that leave us with our pizza? Well, it's kind of surprising, but this pizza, which is actually pretty light, actually has 5 kilograms of gas, but it's hidden. We can't see it. It's a waste tail. 5 kilograms, but you don't see it. So you buy the pizza, you don't think, wow. And of course, what happens when you buy that pizza, that gas becomes your history. If we took the gas in there, shrank it up, it would be a cube, just an ice cube about that big. 5 kilograms of dry ice would be about this big. So what happens with that 5 kilograms? Well, actually, everything we do puts out some of this dry ice, right? Throughout the day. We wake up, we get a coffee, we shower, we'll go to work, we'll have lunch. All of those things put more gas up into the atmosphere, but it's invisible. We are carbon blind. We can't see it. Oh, we have a nice example here, but normally we can't see it. Now that's a big problem because it adds up. It adds up to about 20 kilograms a day for each one of us, about 45 pounds. Every single one of us has this hidden story behind us, every single day. Now, over the course of a year, that really adds up. This tail that's following us around and behind us. For the European Union, you can kind of visualize it like elephants following you around. It's actually easier to think about it in terms of tons. A ton of carbon dioxide or dry ice is a cube about a meter like this and that. The average European has 7 of these following them around every year. The average American has 17 tons. And then when we think about millions of people and billions of us on the planet, what do we end up creating? Well, over our lifetime, we're creating a trail of these things that stretches a half kilometer or a third mile long, right? And then when all of us combined do that, every single year, a Giga Cube is formed. 35 gigatons, billion tons of carbon dioxide. We put that up into the atmosphere, and this giant cube is 3 kilometers high, it's 3 kilometers deep and wide. It's 10 times higher than the Eiffel Tower. And we make that cube every single year, but we never see it. You just assume it's somebody else's problem, but it's up in the atmosphere. It's a gas, right? But we can visualize it as a dry ice. Now, a lot of you are probably like, why should I care about the Giga Cube? It's a thing, it's in the atmosphere. Personally, why I care about the Giga Cube. About a couple of years ago, I saw 2 pictures of a boy on the beach, just like my daughter, about the same age as her friends at the birthday parties. But there was one thing different about this boy. He was never going to have another birthday party. You see, the first picture was him, face down in the sand. He was dead. The second picture had someone who lifted him up, a rescuer, and was going to carry him off. He was a story. He was a refugee, fleeing from whatever. Our research tells us that with climate change, there are potentially 1.2 billion refugees in the future who are going to have to flee their homes because of flood, fire, drought, economic hardship. I'd like to perform a little experiment with you here. We're going to simulate a climate scenario. If you have a birthday that starts in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th day of the month, raise your hand. Anybody have a birthday? 1st day of the month, 2nd day of the month, 3rd day of the month, 4th day of the month. Keep those hands up. Be proud, it's your birthday. Okay, congratulations. You've been selected, you're the climate refugees. That represents 1.2 billion out of 8 billion. Now look around you and see what happens. Imagine you have half hour to tell your family, hey, we're going to leave for our safety. We don't know where we're going. And look around next to you and say, hey, how good is the humanity of these people? Are they going to take me in? Will they give me a home? Place to work? That's how I see the challenge. This Giga Cube is going to cause that human problem. And I'm interested in it. I'm very interested in it because I don't want to see kids on beaches. So the good thing is we have solutions. We have a lot of solutions. And we'll go back to our pizza to actually have the solution. Now the good news is I don't want to take your pizza away. Please. I had a couple 8-year-olds who freaked out, thought I was going to take their pizza. No, no, no. You can have the exact same pizza. Looks pretty tasty. Depending on how something is made, there's different amounts of carbon dioxide in it. right? Every product has a different history, a different story, how it's produced. So we can make a pizza today, same price, same ingredients, 1 kilogram carbon dioxide. My company actually can take carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere, do all of the accounting, assign it to the pizza, and you can have a zero carbon pizza and a happy birthday party, right? Do no harm. That's pretty cool. Now, if we have this choice, if we can see this number, a friend of mine taught me what that's called. My friend David Unger said, this is called buying clean. You just buy the cleaner pizza. 2 pieces. Go with that one. It's that simple. It's free. Now, if you're going to remove the atmosphere or the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, it's going to cost you an extra euro to get the zero carbon pizza. But that first 80% is free. Now, we're not going to solve climate change with pizzas and birthday parties. We need to think a lot bigger than that. And the way we do big things as a culture, from sociology, is something called a mission. I'll take you back in time a little story. If we were in Cologne, Germany, 500 years ago, we might come across somebody working in a stone quarry with a chisel and a mallet, cutting stone. Guy would be sweating away, working. That's his job. He's a stone cutter. Painful, brutal. As an anthropologist, I'd show up and I'd ask him a question. Say, hey, what are you doing? And he would look back up and say, well, it's pretty obvious. You are either an idiot or an anthropologist, because I am a stone cutter. That's what I do. Now, being a good anthropologist, you'd want to keep listening and listening a little more. And you'd ask him some more, and you'd say, hey, what? And he'd say, you know what? I'm on a mission. I'm building a cathedral. This project started before I was born. It's going to end after I die, but I'm going to be a part of it. I'm going to build something massive, bigger than me. Missions are modern as well. My friend Pal told me a story about NASA for the moon mission. A woman was mopping floors, cleaning up. A journalist asked her, hey, what are you doing? And she said, well, I'm a part of the team going to the moon. See, she was connected to something bigger than herself, and her job had purpose for change. Now, I'm not here to ask you to cut stone or to mop floors or to make accounting software, which is my job. Now, my mission, personally, is to try and take that cube I showed you earlier and shrink it and destroy it. The way I'd like you to help me is to claim back some power that you've lost. Power that you never really knew you had. And that power is to buy cleaner. To ask the question, buy the cleaner pizza. You see, you're all part of larger organizations. You're a part of a city. Maybe you're part of the government or the legislature, or you're a school. All of those organizations spend a lot of money. All they need to do is ask the question, can I buy cleaner? Tell me how much carbon dioxide is in the thing I'm buying. Give me back that power of choice. I don't want to be carbon blind. I want to make the better choice. We did that for food labels for 30 or 40 years, right? Billions of transactions. We can see the vitamins, the food in there, but we're blind to one of the biggest problems in the world. We can't see it, except for that. So that's my request, is to go out and try and buy cleaner. Now, the good thing is you don't all have to do it. If 1 out of 30 of you persistently engages in this, change happens. Social scientist Erica Chentworth has said revolutions of the most violent regimes can be peacefully changed if 1 in 30 people publicly is actively engaged in changing and seen to be doing that. That's massive, 1 in 30 of you. Every day, just asking, can I buy cleaner? So that's my request to you. And one last little bit, a little lesson from my daughter. Climate is a journey. We're all on the planet together. And one thing, if you've ever been with an 8-year-old in a car, they're very persistent. They ask one question. I'll pass that on to you. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Makes for a very long car ride. I would urge you, pull out your opposable thumbs and practice this. Are we buying cleaner yet? Are we buying cleaner yet? For the organizations, the families, the groups, persistently ask that question. Because if we do, for free, we can probably take out 20 to 30% of the chunks of that giant cube every year, asking the question to buy cleaner. I don't want to see any more pictures of kids on beaches. Thank you.